let's talk about some of the older gear. How has gear changed over the years? How have my preferences changed? How has the setup changed? So I see a lot of questions like this in the comments, and I thought it'd be nice to pull down one of my old training guns, this Beretta 92 G model Brigadier is one of my old training guns. I've shot this gun quite a bit over the years. I think I used it from 2005-ish to maybe 2010, something like that, somewhere in that range. It was a training gun for a few years, so it got a lot of rounds shot through it, and it was used a lot. So first, as you can tell, this is an iron sight gun. This was before the Slide Rider red dots, and this is even unusual in the iron sight realm because of the sight configuration. Now you'll see here, it's got 3 dot sights on it. So 3 white dots, which at the time I kind of liked okay. It wasn't super good. Like I didn't like it a whole lot at distance, but close up and mid-range, I was okay with the 3 dot thing. I would say I was relatively late. So way later on, I switched to green fiber front is where I ended up. Green fiber front and then flat black rear. I had this 3 dot setup on my training gun for a long time, even though I was in competition using the fiber front flat black rear setup, because it didn't really bother me too much switching between. So that's like one interesting thing about this gun. Now, if we look at how it's worn in, or kind of like what happened to it over the years. Oh, came out. This is the locking block on the, we go ahead, slide this in here. This is what the barrel locks up on. This is a weak point on the Berettas for sure. You'll see a lot of these broken. Now, I've never broken one. I don't really know why. I shot the civilian guns with the Radius locking blocks and didn't shoot military ammo. So I think that's why I had good luck with these. Again, like I never broke one. Never actually saw one break. But I know a lot of other people, especially in the military, had a very different experience. All right, put this back together. Now, the only place where there's a ton of wear, like you can see, the slide's been run on this thing like a lot. I don't know how many rounds exactly, but it's 6 figures. It's quite a few rounds shot through this gun, I think. It still groups to the best of my recollection, even though I haven't shot it in years. One thing I like is these big base pads. These rubber base pads make it nice and easy to reload. You'll see this was before the days where we were allowed to bevel out the magazine wells for USPSA, so this one hasn't been. So this gun's a little bit tougher to reload than my other guns. The trigger, sitting at like 8 pounds, double action. You can see lots of take up, firm wall, about 4.5 pounds, and it breaks. The triggers, it's okay, it's fine, it's not super light, but it's kind of what I would want a training gun to be. All in all, like holding this thing again, the aluminum frame, like to me at this point, I don't really see a point for aluminum because when I hold it, it gives me all the disadvantages that metal does, right? It'll be hot when it's hot out, it's cold when it's cold out, but it's just, being made of aluminum, like it's not like I get the advantage of the weight of a steel frame. So I feel like aluminum is kind of giving me all of the disadvantages, whereas at this point in my life, I would rather just make it plastic instead of aluminum. Especially for the parts that I'm holding on to. Like that is one thing I like about the Staccato grips is that they're plastic. Yeah, so this is one of the old guns. It's interesting. It's interesting to pull it out and look at it. And I will say, like the newer guns, the newer equipment setups are way better. This is very serviceable, but the newer stuff, definitely better. It's definitely more comfortable, is the word I'd use. It's the changes that have been made over the years make the guns just more comfortable to use.